Hey guys, so happy 2019. This is my first video filmed in 2019. If you can't tell, I got a new little setup. I have a backdrop, bought a camera stand, which my camera's actually now on, so I could film and try to boost my quality of my content. One last thing I need to do is get a ring light. So I'm actually filming and it's 11:16 a.m. just because I have really good lighting in here right now because the lighting in my house is terrible. All right, so all that aside, this is going to be another story time. So I actually, hold that thought. Okay, I'm back. So I actually got the idea from another YouTuber. Let me see. Her story time was basically about her being homeless and how she drove 10 hours from Georgia to Arkansas. If you guys didn't know, I'm in Arkansas. So I thought I would just do my story time about when I was homeless. I'm trying to find that YouTuber, but I'm just gonna put her name like right here, up here, over here, down here, somewhere on the screen. Her name's gonna be here because she inspired me to do my video, and I told you guys that already. Her Instagram is I don't got none of her information. I should have been prepared to do this video, but I wasn't. My bad. Let's see. Her Instagram is I'm Lyric. I am Lyric. I'm Lyric. Alright, so all that aside, let's just jump into my story time. Sips lemonade from my yellow background. Okay, so my story time just begins when I want to say 18. Yeah, I was 18, I believe. I was living with my grandma, and I was living with my grandma. In my hometown, I had my own room. It was right across the hallway from her room. And then my other cousin, they had moved, him and his wife and their daughter had moved in from from Louisiana, and there was another bedroom right beside my room. They were in that room, and you know how your family, like when certain family members come in, your family gets to start acting funny. Mamas and grandmas love to do this. I love my grandma, but she do this when certain family members come around. So my cousin John had came, and I think I had an attitude, but I always had an attitude. To this day I have an attitude for no reason. But something had happened, and I don't even really remember what happened, but something happened, and she was like, get out or something. And so I had to go. And I really could have lived with my dad. He lives in the same town, but I don't know, I didn't really like him at the time. If that makes sense. Like, I'm cool with my dad now. I love my dad, I loved him then, but we definitely didn't see eye to eye. So at this point I was like, I'd rather sleep in my car. So that's what I did. Fortunately for me, I did have a job. I was working at like this factory in my hometown. And so I would just pull, like, I worked from 6 a.m. to like 2 p.m. or something like that. And so when I would get off work, I would just go find something to do, like go to the park, or I had a gym membership. I would go to the gym and I would shower like at the gym, and then I would just drive to my job and then pull in and then like go to sleep in the back. I had a Honda Accord. I would go to sleep in the back seat of my car and then get up like when it was time to go to work in the morning and just walk straight into work. So So the most, I don't know, I like kind of ended up hating like certain people at my job because people didn't know what was going on. And then like I would like, obviously I had a backpack that I would take all my tools and stuff to work with me, but I also used that bag when I was going to the gym. And I think I had like a body wash in my, like in the side of my bag one day, and this girl was like, do you have body wash in your bag? And I'm like it was hurtful because the girl is homeless, like, but I don't want to tell people I'm homeless, and but she's like being super nosy for no reason, and it was just terrible. All right, so then what happened next? Oh, so I have this friend, her name's Lucy. I have this friend Lucy, and she let me stay. I don't know how I ended up staying with her. I think I was just staying like one night, and then somehow I think she told her parents that I didn't have anywhere to go, and they let me stay with them. The thing about Lucy is, Lucy was, I want to say Lucy was like 16 at the time, and Lucy and her parents and her whole family are all Mexicans or Hispanic, whichever word you prefer. Her and her brother, her older brother, they both speak English. Her parents speak a little bit of English, but for the most part when they're at home, obviously they speak Spanish, and I would know what they were saying. So Lucy would literally have to translate for her parents to me. Yeah. That was a whole ordeal. But Lucy, I don't know, Lucy never went to school. I don't know why she never went to school, but she never went to school. I think she was working or something. She didn't like school, so she was working. I don't know. So she was working at McDonald's, and so I didn't want to be at her house without her there because it was just awkward or whatever. So I would just hang out at McDonald's while she was at work, and I ended up, because I was there so much when I wasn't at work, I ended up getting a job there too. And so I worked there, so I had 2 jobs, and I was living with Lucy, and it was like, everything was actually good or whatever, and it was cool. And then I ended up moving. My grandma ended up being nice to me or for some reason or something, and she let me move back in with her. And that's the first time I was homeless. I've been like homeless or super near homeless like 3 times. So let me think about the second time I was homeless. This is the second time. I wasn't actually homeless, but I was like near homeless, and this was just like bad decision making and planning on my part. So this one actually happened like maybe 2 years ago, when I originally moved away from my hometown. I had moved to the city that I live in now, and me and my boyfriend, we had got like this townhouse apartment. It was really nice, but our rent was $600 a month, which doesn't sound like a lot of money. But I was working, and I think I had switched over from from temporary to a full-time employee at that same company I was just working for when I was homeless last time. And I don't know, some type of way they messed up my check, like that I was gonna use to pay my rent. They had took out like way too many taxes or something, and so I went to the office and I told the guy, like the HR people, I was like, hey, my check's not right, da da da. And the guy was like, it's only taxes. And then I'm like that may be only taxes for you, but it doesn't make sense that I was making more money when I was, you know, like when I was like temporary versus now that I'm full-time, I'm making less money. I should have just stayed temporary. And so like he basically gave me those vibes that he didn't give a fuck. And for me, like, I have to pay bills, so I can't do that. So this is when I drove 16 hours to Miami. My best friend Jade lives in Miami, and she's a stripper. So I had stripped like well, it was like maybe 4 or 5 times before this, like with her here in Arkansas. And so I ended up going to, like, they couldn't get my check right and they didn't give a fuck. So I was just like, you know what, forget this. I literally left that job. I was, at that time I was working, I think 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. And so I left that job at like 12 at night, and then drove to Jacksonville, picked up my boyfriend, and then we drove from Jacksonville to, oh, y'all know where I live now. I live in Jacksonville, Arkansas. But we drove from Jacksonville to Miami, Florida, which was 16 hours. And I was so tired, but I was destined to make it because I needed the money. Like, I think I was like, my rent was short by like $400 or something. Like, no, it wasn't that much. It was like maybe $200. It wasn't even that much. So I was like, I can go to Miami and make that easy, and then see my best friend, because at this point I don't think I had seen her in like 2 years or something. So I went down there and I danced, and I actually made the money. But what I didn't know about with driving all the way to Florida was all the tolls, and then I didn't think about gas, and I didn't think about, like, I don't know, I didn't think about gas, I didn't think about tolls, I didn't think about food expenses, and I left like earlier than I should have. I really should have stayed like another 2 days, but I was ready to go back home and pay my rent, and then I was supposed to like start a new job, which is like 10 minutes from my house anyway. So I was getting ready to leave that job in my hometown anyway, but so I was just like, I left early, and I earlier than I should have. And so I got back home and we still didn't have enough money to pay the rent. So there was like these studio apartments here. Actually they advertise as like a 1-bedroom apartment, but really it's a studio with like a wall divider, because there's not really, like, okay, how we had our setup is like you'll walk in and it would basically be our living room, there's a door for the bathroom, and then there's this like wall with a, there's not a door right there. No, there was a door with like this door, and then you open it, and then this side is the kitchen, this side was our bedroom. And yeah, because we didn't want people, like, well, me personally, I didn't want people walking through our bedroom, so we just made the front room and where the bathroom was like our living room. So we ended up moving, well, no, like I put down the deposit, I put down all the money we had for the deposit, and then I think we had like $50 left, and so we needed like prorated rent or whatever, and so we ended up getting our room. And I, like, mind you, this was the first day I had to start my job, like this day, and so we ended up getting the room for the night before I had to start my new job. So I started my new job, I'm stressed out, but we end up somehow, like, I think my boyfriend asked like his parents for the money so that we could move into our little 1-bedroom apartment. And so we ended up moving, and then we ended up saving money once we did that, because I didn't want to be homeless again. And he ended up working at my job, which is a whole nother story time that he actually gave me permission to tell, of how I lost my job there, and boy is that a story time. So he ended up working with me though, and then we ended up moving into the place that we have now, because I have an obsession, this is totally off topic, I have an obsession with townhouses. Like, I love townhouse apartments. I don't know why or what my thing is with them, but I love them. But that's it. So if you guys want to hear my story time about my story time about how I lost my job working with my boyfriend, then let me know down below. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. And also, don't forget to subscribe. If you're new to my channel, then go check out some more videos. I have another video that I may or may not be filming today with my get to know me, because you know what, your girl needs to put up more videos, and I know I'm gonna get to it. So I'm trying to stay progressed. You guys hit that subscribe button, and I see you guys later.